All right. Good to have you join me on this new edition of Youth Assembly. My name is Sylvia Ishebe. It's so good to be back this week. Merry Christmas. And how is your holiday going? I hope you are doing so well. And the holiday brought good tidings. Well, I'm not alone today. I have with me Jeremiah Husseini. He is a youth enthusiast. Welcome, Jeremiah.
Thank you very much for having me, Sylvia. Good morning. Good morning,
Good
Nigeria.
morning. Yeah. So, how was your Christmas? How was your celebration?
It's still ongoing, though. I think I'm really having fun. So I came to do it in our family house. So
Oh,
I'm all here with my family members, my siblings, and also that's been a very good time so far.
oh. Well, good for you who who had to travel and then be with family at this time. But for some
Yeah,
people, they just had to do it alone.
exactly. Yeah, I had to run from Abuja. I come to Lagos quickly because I was suspecting that
Abuja is actually dry, really dry. But how
really
is
dry.
Lagos? How is Lagos?
Lagos is still very nice, fun. Happening well. This is my first time in Lagos in like over 20 years, anyways. But
Oh, really?
But
Really?
yeah, the city is nice, lively. Even though you can notice the restriction, in movement. I mean, those place of gatherings and all of that. But even as of that, I think it's still pretty much better here.
Nice. Okay, I'll get to ask you how the giving back is going on in Lagos. But before then, let me do a little intro. All right, thank you for joining us. If you just tuned in, it's Youth Assembly, and today we look at ways to give back during the festive season. We're still in the festive season, and we urge you to give back. Okay, so giving to the less privileged, especially during the festive season, is one of the core tenets of Christianity. The year 2020 has been a difficult year, no doubt, and many Nigerians have lost their jobs and means of livelihood as a result of the pandemic. And as such, no more than ever, a lot of people need extra help and a lot of love need to go by. So, how can people help the less privileged in the society during the festive season and beyond? That is one question we intend to ask today on Youth Assembly. But we also like you to contribute and tell us how you are giving back. How are you giving back in your neighborhood, in your community this festive season? We'd like to hear that. But Jeremiah Hussein is here to tell us how it is going, where he is, and how he himself has done so far. So the mood for the festive season, Jeremiah, is quite different from what is obtained in previous years as a result of the pandemic. So do you think the pandemic had any effect on the ways people are giving back during this festive season?
Yes, actually, the pandemic has a lot of effects to that regards, if you ask me, because even the rich right now are somewhat crying because it has affected a lot of people. This year alone, we stayed at home for over 3 months, over 4 months, and of
Yeah.
course, recently schools just resumed. A lot of people had to cater for their words and their children, and even recently also you also heard about the ASU, calling off the strikes. And a lot of parents, even those philanthropists, even those wealthy ones are already, keeping money, holding, or let me not call it holding, keeping money, for their children to send their children back to school. Some people, it could just be house rent that is, plaguing them. So it's the pandemic this year because a lot of people lost their source of livelihood, source of funding and all that. It has affected how people usually give back to the society. Now, for instance, I had normally my organization, during the youth had go to some communities and organize a community cook party, like a big pot. We call it a big pot project. But this year we didn't cancel it, but we were able to do for just one community, And I have a friend too, Grace, who single-handedly she also mobilized her friend, who is a very very passionate youth, passionate Nigerian youth. Her name is Grace Josiah. She was also able to organize some of her friends together, and they did just like a sample of the big pot in one Fulani community there in Abuja, and they were able to reach out
Lovely.
and give food on Christmas Day to over 200 children in that particular settlement, which I think is really nice. But initially, before now, you see celebrities, driving through local areas, just
I'm
to share
telling
food
you, we're not
for
seeing some of those
women.
posts at all this season.
Yes, exactly. Now, the pandemic actually affected this. It actually caused it now for two reasons. The first one is people are now scared for their safety because when you go to these satellite towns, when you go to
Yeah.
this suburb, those
Mhm.
suburban areas, they really do not keep to, not all of them actually keep to the social distancing, the face masks wearing and all of that. So they don't really keep to it. So some of these wealthy guys are kind of like scared. Okay, if I go there now, all the children will come running after me, grabbing me, touching me, like that. Am I sure that I will not, take something back? So that fear of safety, that fear of protection, that fear of their health is actually what is causing it. Then secondly, the fund, the lack of finances as well, because like I said, the greater part of this year we spent at home, indoors. So a lot of people, even when the lockdown was eased, they lost their jobs and all of that, their side hustles, so they couldn't really, gather much to do enough giveaway this Yuletide season.
Well, some people are still using their platform to do all of those giveaways where you have to drop your phone number or your account number rather, and get some credit. Well, some people, but like you said, people in satellite towns, in the villages that don't have bank accounts to submit on social media, what happens to them? And we're not seeing some of those giveaways. Oh yes, the drive-throughs that, like you mentioned, going on in such locations. How can people effectively give back? We're still in the holiday, so we still have today and maybe the rest of the week before the new year to do some giveaways. But you've also had people asking people, okay, I need rice, and then people get the reply, me too, I define rice. Somebody you think is well to do is also answering you, me too, I define rice. So, what do you think? Uh, why do you think some people find it reluctant or difficult to give now?
Okay, now giving, let me quickly say that giving is not a function of your bank account, it's the function of your heart.
Hmm.
Giving comes from a place of passion. Giving comes from a place of some people call it talent, but it's an inborn thing. There are people that are graced with giving. They are just blessed with the heart of giving. That's why I say it's the function of the heart. So there are some people, no matter what they have, actually giving is not their thing. They prefer to just have things for themselves. They will tell you they are saving for a rainy day. But fact is, we can't sleep on two beds at the same time. You can't drive two cars at the same time or use all your money at a blow. Okay. So the fact that you have more than enough means that that extra that you have is for somebody else. Now, it becomes on you to, duty calls on you to actually, look for that person who needs what you are having as an extra and give to them. Sometimes it may not even be the extra. It may be actually, maybe that's just all you have, but you need to inconvenience yourself to share with somebody, even if you can't give it full. So now the thing is, I know that these guys are doing it, but in times like this is where we need eateries. Permit me to
Okay.
call some of the names. Okay, let me not call it. This is where we need these big eateries, these mega eateries that we have around. We say to even here in Lagos. When I landed at the airport, I saw some of them, facing the terminal and all of that. But so this is when we need eateries like this, to go out to those communities and share food to them, give
So
them
who bears
packages.
the burden? Is it the E3 or individual sponsoring this?
It could be the eateries. I mean, for 360 days or 357 or 58 days, you've made profit in a year. Hello. So just one
Mm.
week, just once in a year. I don't think it would be bad. The eateries themselves, they can make it their CSR, that's their corporate social responsibility, to just select one community. Maybe here in Lagos, somewhere in Makoko or somewhere, those guys living on top of water, something like that. Just go there and say, okay, today, do you know what? We are having the big pot program, just like the Begotten. We are having the big pot program at the center of the community. You can either cook there or cook it from your eatery, supply. Let's say, for instance, some of these big eateries, they have like 30 to 40 branches in the city of Lagos alone. For instance, you can just say, okay, one staff from each of these branches, will come and wear their uniform and do it. You're still doing it under your name, for crying out loud. So this is where, I advise that you should go. Eateries number one. Then the second set of people, the second category are the bank people, the banks. I
I
know
was
that the
going to
banks are
come to
doing
that.
a lot. Yeah, I know that the banks are doing a lot and stuff, but I still think that banks should do more in giving back to their customers, especially those customers that are in the suburban areas. So some of so it's
Those
not just
customers that have 5,000 naira in their account.
no, 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 no. Some,
What we
some,
get?
some, some do not even have money. Like the last time money entered the account was maybe 2017 or something. So instead of blocking the account or sending them message to threaten to block the account, just show some love. Do something differently. As a
That
bank,
is the
do
bank
something
responsibility.
differently. Go to them and say, okay, we know we saw your account, we checked it. The last time you got a credit was in 2017, but instead of blocking, we just want to know if you are okay. Are you still alive? Oh yeah, just take this food from us or take this envelope from us. I think that will actually make that bank trend and give them a perfect name. So eateries and of course banks, these are two major sectors that I think they can actually do a good give back.
So it's safe to say ways to trend this season. Give back.
Yeah, innovative way to trend.
Oh, and I hope somebody who is listening to us will actually trend today after listening to this and trying to give back. Well, we want to hear from you. How are you giving back in your community, in your neighborhood? Or how do you think Nigerians can give back to the society, to the less privileged this season? We would like to hear from you. I will take your comments. If you have questions for our guests, we will be glad to hear them and answer them. So you've mentioned banks, you've mentioned eateries, but there are people also, individuals who would consider themselves, oh, I'm not wealthy enough to give. I can't give this season. So do you think one has to be wealthy to give to charity?
Yeah, that was why initially in my last response, I said that it's a function of the heart, not the function of your bank account. So like everybody, even those people who we are even looking at to give to, right, they still have one or two things to give out. That's the fact. Everybody, as far as you are breathing, even if you're on your sick bed, right? Even those who are on their sick bed, as far as you're breathing, you have something to give. Now, it must not be monetized. That's the thing. It must not. It may just be that old clothing in your house. You wash that cloth, iron it properly, and just look out for somebody on your street that you can share with. Or it could be food. Some people, they don't have money, but they have food, especially when you go to the village, they have food. Share with your neighbor, share with your kid, share with that guy who just recently lost his home, share with that, that widow, that woman who just recently lost, a husband, or that child who just recently got back from the hospital, or something like that, somebody who just put to bed. Just share something. And the thing is, it goes both ways. Okay, so the poor can give to the rich can give to the poor. It's just that, of course, in our society,
I would like you to elaborate on that. The poor can give to the rich. How?
Now, the poor can give to the rich in terms of services. I've done that several times. Okay, so what I do is, okay, I'm not saying I'm a poor guy, but of course, I'm not how much. I've not cashed out yet. All right. So what I do sometimes is I look for those people who, during the year they've been of blessing to me, those elderly people that have really been of blessing to me, those good families I look up to. Okay. So I go to their house and I help them clean. I just dedicate, put an appointment. I'm coming to your house today with my friends, with my group of friends. We're coming to clean everywhere, your whole duplex, even plus the BQ. We're coming to do thorough cleaning. We come with machine. I personally will hire machines with my money, cleaning machines, vacuum cleaners, and all of that. Then we'll go with clean. For some of them that I know that they already have these big cleaning services, doing their house, we'll go for their cars. So services. Some of them you can just get their clothes, take it to the laundry, and just help them throughout the month of December. It is part of giving back. And trust me, there is nothing that these rich people love more than somebody who can help them manage their time, because they don't have this time.
Right.
Yes, they don't have this time. So if you can help them manage their time properly and help them do what they could have been doing or what they are struggling with, they will really appreciate it and they will really love it. So this is one way those people who are at the lower area of the ladder can actually stretch and give to those people who are at the top in area of services.
Interesting. I never thought of it, but yes, service will work. But a lot of people, when you think of how will I envelope 5,000 naira and go give to this big oga or big madam, exactly. Washing your cars, really, especially in the season of Hamatan, when you come out and you see your car, oh my God, you can't even recognize it. And all your helps, they've all traveled for Christmas and all, but somebody somewhere just makes it their job or responsibility to take care of that for you. It will go a long way, yes, and put a smile in that big woman or big man's heart or faces. And then who knows, when 2021 comes, you might just be in a lucky book and you'll get something, an offer or something, if you're looking for one.
And one more thing, it doesn't just, even the services we're looking about, for some people who may not really, okay, you can't do industrial cleaning and some things. One other good way you can actually be of service, giving back to the rich people is through their kids, through their children. Because we all know right now that the children, everybody, they are home. So as a guy or as a lady, you can think of, okay, I know how to teach biology, I know how to teach English, I know how to teach maths. Go and just tutor their kids, which is one thing that they will really love. Some of these rich guys, the best way, the fastest way of getting to their heart is through their children. If you can bless their
Yeah.
children, be of good or whatever, good, be of help for their children. I mean, they will love you, and they'll even give you some things in return. So you look out for their children. Okay, what can I do for them? Can I tutor them? Can I, help them in one or two ways? And that's also one good part.
Okay, let me just put it here. Public announcement. Who knows how to code? We're looking for one.
Exactly. That's what
Yes,
is
something
trending
like
now. And of course, the elite, they want their children to learn how to code. They want their
that.
children to learn how to do graphic designs, video
Yeah.
editing, photographies, and all of that. And these are some of the things that the street guys, they know how to do. So if you are there at the lower part of the ladder, I believe you already know how to do some of these things. Just take down within you, think it through, look deep down, call these persons, book an appointment. Okay, I'm coming so day to just do this for your kids. Get them organized. 5 hours will be done. I'm not expecting any money, nothing, and that will just be it. And you actually be glad you did.
Yes. Okay. But for some people who have lost their livelihood, they're during this pandemic, what ways can people help those people during this festive season?
Oh, good. So, a very good way you can help them right now is now for people like that, it will be best to actually teach them how to fish, not actually giving them fish, because giving fish sometimes may not be sustainable if you yourself you have limited financial like inflow. So, what I mean by giving them fish is actually putting them in a vocational center or in a training center, or if they already have skills, then you now graduate them to the next level, which is what can I do for you to see that this is your skill, you convert it into a viable business, into a legal business, into something that can give you a better stream of income. For instance, just before the Yuletide, just before we went on holiday, my organization, WODI, we trained exactly 210 young Nigerians
Mm.
in 4 different skills. The first one is cosmetology. The second one is fashion designing. The third one is catering and pastry. Then we had employability training. We literally organized a CV clinic that ran for 2 weeks in our
Mm.
facility. Then the other training minimum was 1 month. Then of course 1 month, 1 month and 2 weeks. Then fashion, extended and all of that. Then immediately we finished the training. We got some financial support for some friends and donors. We were able to buy machines for this. We bought 50 sewing machines and distributed. We bought 63 sewing machines and distributed. We bought 50 ovens, those locally made ovens, and we distributed. And we bought some chemicals for those people who learned about cosmetology, how to make hand wash, soap, hair cream, face cream, sanitizers, Dettol, Izal, all of them, we bought chemicals and containers for them. So for those people who recently lost their job or who got laid out of jobs, the best thing
Yeah.
you want to do is actually teach them how to fish. Those of them,
Mm.
especially those who do not have skills, train them, take them to a vocational training center or an NGO that trains or something. Get them trained so that they in turn can actually be empowered to now be bosses on their own and start having good streams of income.
Interesting. But we're also in the era of social distancing, and as such, giving back can be a little tricky, especially when it involves giving to a large number of people or organizing all of these trainings in large numbers to help people who are less privileged. So, what are some of the ways people can organize charity events without putting themselves and the people they're training at risk of the
Okay,
virus?
I'm going to be a little bit blunt here, but permit
Mm.
me, Nigerian, so that people won't misunderstand what I'm about to say. But I'm just going to be blunt. Now, 80% of people who actually go do these giveaways, especially you see the crowd, the mass, they go to villages, they do it for sure. 80%. I can tell you
Mm.
that. I've been here for a long time. Okay, they do it for sure. Because ideally there's a literal way you can actually do your giveaway, and you will give each family at a time. There's a way you can structure it. So everybody must not come together and your camera will be on their faces, and the whole paparazzi and serene, the whole world will know this person is giving, and which is good, which some people prefer. I'm not disputing that. But the thing is, looking at the period that we are, this pandemic era and all of that, there's a way
Yes.
you can go from house to house you with your kids and everything. In fact, during the lockdown in Abuja, during late March or early April, there was
Mhm.
one we did. It was 5,000 knocks of hope. We did it across Kwali, Abaji, and in Buhari Area Council. 5,000 knocks of hope. We serviced 5,000 homes in the FCT. How did we do it? It was just like a Christmas surprise. We actually packaged these things in our offices, in our different branches in our office. Then, of course, we went to the homes. We knocked at the door. We dropped the parcel. We knock at the door, we drop the parcel. We knock at the door. So that's why up to today, if you go to our Instagram, our Facebook, our website, you won't see any picture of 5,000 knocks of hope, because that was during the lockdown. So we didn't even, maybe it wasn't for snapping or whatever. So this is an innovative give back approach now I'm trying to sell out to Nigerians. So we basically go there, you knock at their doors, you let them know who you are, tell them that when they come out, there will be a parcel here, then you drop it there, you move to the next door, you move to the next door, you move to the next door. So that's a very good way. And if you do it that way, you safeguard yourself, and you also safeguard the people who you're trying to help. So this is not a time when it will have to be necessary for everybody to gather the 101 pair, and everything, because we're doing a giveaway. Actually, that's just the thing.
But when you say that, it also makes me wonder, what if the person who is taking the shots of them helping out, is actually trying to inspire others to do the same in their community?
Now, see, nothing is hidden under the sun. That is the fact. There is no good works that you do on earth that will go unnoticed. When we finished this particular program, it was as if they were waiting. It was as if, because of course on the package we had our phone numbers and all of that, and address, office address, and all of that. So it was as if they were waiting for the government to call off the lockdown. They were coming in mass. They were trooping into the office. Oh, we're grateful. But at the point you had to be like, do you know what? No, please. This virus is still real. We know that the lockdown has been eased and all of that, but it's okay. We didn't put our phone number because so that people can come. It's okay. So they were still coming. They were like, no. There was a man. He said that meal was from heaven. That they had prayed that night. They slept the previous night without a food. They had prayed that morning in their devotions that please, God should just send the helper. She just send manna from heaven. And they got that knock. So he was like, he was going to wait till whenever the lockdown would be eased for him to come to our office and thank us. So such a family. And some others, they just went to their community, they were spreading the law, spreading the news. Look at what happened and all of that, and it was really, really amazing. So there's no way you think you can do a good thing like this and you think it will just go unnoticed. No way. As far as a good work and you did it from a sincere heart, trust me, everybody will know at the end of the day. But then the best thing is just for first the people who you are helping.
Yeah, well, I remember when Cardi B came to Nigeria, she was actually commended for not taking pictures of children from motherless babies' home, where she contributed, unlike many celebrities before her. People gave her some of those commendations, and it really went a long way. But we have somebody else who has just joined us. Welcome, Pastor John David, who is an entrepreneur. Welcome, Pastor. Okay.
Good
He's on the
morning.
way. Good morning. Good to have you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Nice to hear from you. Nice to have you too. Nice to be
All
back.
right. Okay. So we're talking about giving back to the society, or
Sorry for the
rather,
delay. I had some
ways
technical.
to give back during this festive season. So you are an entrepreneur, and in your local community, how best do you think people can give back during this season?
This season is a season where has come to the end of the year. You take stocks of the things you've accomplished, the things you've achieved, the things you've gotten. First of all, you thank God for your life, because many friends, colleagues, and other entrepreneurs passed on to glory. And how to give back to community there are many ways. Number one, you look at the environment where you live.
Yes.
What kind of people do you have there? You could see that the pandemic has a hard effect on the lives of individuals. Their finances are off, and children out of school. So you can do a demographic structural adjustment. Look at the environment where you are. Look at privilege and the less privileged. We have motherless baby homes here. We have beggars on the street. And we have good Nigerians who have lost their job. So you do a 1 to 10 ratio and look at what is the best structure to give. Like we, for example, we don't have elderly homes in Nigeria, very few locations. Look for the elderly and extend help. We have wrappers we gave out, bags of rice we gave out, and at the same time, food. That's one aspect. The other aspect is people are so busy this season that they forget they have neighbors. So you reach out to your neighbor. People are too busy, they forget they have neighbors. Very early in the morning, you are rushing, you are out, you come back late in the night or in the evening. You look at your neighbor that you've forgotten, you've not seen for like 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. Give him a call. Though I know lockdown is there, do observe all the lockdown procedure. Give him a call. Either through a phone, extend gifts, things you know you will not do. Go out of your comfort zone. Some of us, for example, I am a person, I'm extremely busy. If I visit somebody, it's like a miracle. So knock the door, enter, carry your goodies and extend. Get hampers, give. If you can't give hampers, give cash gifts. Because it's very important. That love you extend or you show to your neighbor goes a long way to make him feel valued. Because in the course of this pandemic that we are in, many lost jobs, many lost lives, many lost loved ones. So it's a time of extending of love. Your presence means a lot. Your gift means a lot. That is one aspect I will talk about. Then the other aspect I will talk about, you look at children. I have children's home, like we have our children home in Karo. There's a children home in Karo where take toys there, take packs of gifts, foods, and extend love to the teachers there, because that's one other aspect people don't look at. They only look at the people the children who directly need the charity, but they don't look at the people who take care of the children. So extend gifts, money, cash, and time to those who are down there, who are helping the children.
Thank you so much, Pastor John David. Okay, so on the issue of neighbors, John Ryan saying, I know you didn't touch on that, but he did. Do you have anything to add in giving back to neighbors?
Yeah, I think thank you very much, Pastor, for that, for bringing that out, actually, because that's a demography that most people actually don't look forward to, and it's really important that we cater for our neighbors, especially in times like this. We've had scenarios and cases where people all of a sudden woke up one day and they realized that odors were coming out from their neighbor's apartment, and just for them to break in and see that this person died weeks ago or days ago, I think, and just like Pastor rightly said, most of us are extremely busy these days, to the extent where we now forget that we even have neighbors, especially in times like this, Christmas season like this. You're just busy planning for yourself, how to take yourself out, how to go to this place, go to that place, or how to be indoors and cook so that those who are coming in, we have something to eat, and you literally forget that your neighbors are there. So I think it's very important. Like, I didn't think about this. Thanks, Pastor John, for bringing it up. So I think this is one segment of individual we as Nigerians should pay attention to. First, just like the Bible says, charity begins at home. Let's start with our home. Let's start with our neighbors. Let's start with their children. Let's start with, what do they have? Even in times like this, like I said earlier before Pastor joined, it may not just be money. It could just be food, regardless of the person's ethnicity, the person's philosophical background, or even the person's religion or age or gender. Just go and reach out to them. You can for some of them, actually, they just need company. For instance, I traveled now, but there's somebody in my apartment back in Abuja. So I believe that person right now will be very lonely and just being there, not my own apartment, but like a neighbor. You understand?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if maybe such person will be yearning for company or just for
yeah.
advice. So for some of these neighbors, this would be a very good time for you to just go to them and maybe render counseling help for those of them who you know are having maybe marital challenges or something, or just go and ask, what can I even help you do? Or better still, you can even just arrange your children. You wake up in the morning, you finish your devotion and everything. Yourself, your husband, your wife, and your children, everybody will wear t-shirt and short knicker. You tell them, okay, we are going to flat B this morning to help them clean up their flat, help them wash their dishes, help them subscribe GoTV or DSTV if it has expired. So you just move your whole family and do your morning in this next neighbor's house. Bet me, I don't think there's any neighbor on earth who will say no to this. And so this is not money right now. This is just services, like I like I mentioned earlier. So
Yeah.
this, I think, it will really serve well if you can do it.
Well, more like using your skills and talent to give back this season. But you mentioned religion, and Nigeria being a multi religious society is. You see some people having this problem of religious intolerance. They go as far as rejecting gifts or maybe rejecting services when people offer them. So, what do you think about this trend of rejection, rejecting gifts, rejecting services? Sometimes some people will clearly tell you, no, 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 we don't collect Christmas gifts or something like that. Let
That's
me go.
that's
Let Mr. John, Pastor John
okay. Fine.
David answer this one. Yes, Pastor, he's frozen. Okay,
Yeah, I think it's
go ahead, Mr. Jeremiah.
all right. So now the thing is, even recently, we saw a situation like that where
Hmm.
a superstar, my club's one of my club's best star, which is Mohamed Salah, celebrated Christmas. So he displayed pictures of himself wearing the Santa stuff with his family in his house with decorations, and some other guys took it as an offense. You know, some people in the religious folk, the Islamic religious folk, took it. I don't know, but guy, you're a Muslim. Why must you be celebrating Christmas with them? Why you're even dressing as Santa and stuff like that? You know that the religion, it does not permit it and all of that. So I read this comment. They literally dragged Mo Salah on Twitter for 2 days straight. So I read this comment and I had to ask a friend of mine, senior colleague who is an Islamic scholar, and he said that there's nothing like that. That Mo Salah did well. In fact, that is a way to promote peace, because Islam promotes peace and it talks about peace. So what Mo Salah did was a very good thing. He didn't say, oh, I've converted to Christianity now, or please everybody convert to. No, that was not what he did. He was doing it to join the rest of the world, to join his fans like me, and of course the other people in UK to mark the Yuletide, to mark the birth of Jesus Christ. So for those people who will still use the name of religion to reject gifts, especially in times like this, I would just call that ignorant. That's just and that shouldn't offend anybody. It's just clearly an act of ignorance, you know. So those people, I just believe that if they know better, they won't be rejecting gifts from people, especially from loved ones or from neighbors or from people who are privileged to actually help them.
Hmm. Mr. Jeremiah. Okay. While we wait for him to, get himself talking again.
But
How
meanwhile, let me place a caveat here so that this
okay.
doesn't discourage.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Jeremiah.
Thank you. So let me just quickly say this as a caveat, just so that people who really wants to give are not discouraged. Out of 100, or let me just even out of 500, maybe you get like 2 or 3%. So out of 500, maybe you may get just 2% out of 500. Okay, out of
Yes,
500. Can you
yes.
hear me?
I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me now?
you. Go ahead. Go ahead. I can hear you. Hello, Mr. Jeremiah. Okay, so we would like to take your comments because we are actually trying to wrap it up here now. But we'll take your comments. If you have ideas of how people can give back this festive season, we'd like to hear it. Drop a comment. And remember that it is Click Niger's Youth Assembly, and we are focusing on ways to give back during the festive season. I've had earlier Pastor John David, who is an entrepreneur, tell us about giving back to your neighbors. Yes, neighbors, looking at your locality, your streets, and trying to do the much you can for your neighbors using your skills and talent. And of course, I also had Jeremiah Oseni, who is a youth enthusiast, talk extensively about giving back as an organization, as an individual, and even as a poor person. Yes, he mentioned something about the poor giving to the rich, and I was like, "What? What do you mean?" It's usually the other way around, but he said, "Give through your services," and that was Jeremiah saying it. All right, I think we'll wrap it up for here. For Nigerians, you can share this video so that your friend can also watch and comment and tell of the good words. The good words. Okay, we have him back here. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Sorry, a call came in that I couldn't reject. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah. So that's just basically. Let me just wrap up with that thought. We shouldn't be discouraged to actually give. People who will reject your gifts are not actually much. Maybe just 2 in 500 or 5 in 500. So anybody who wants to give should just go ahead. If you get rejected here in one door, trust me, in the next 100 doors, your gift won't be rejected.
All right. Thank you so much. And then Pastor John David, to wrap up, what do you have to say to Nigerians? A message you have for them this festive season with regards to giving back.
Okay. I'm looking to Nigerians. They should know giving is a good way of life. Is an extension of love.
Yes.
Loving your neighbor is the basic rule of success. And in the good books, giving is actually the way of God because God is love. So giving does not have a substitute, even if it's rejected or accepted. There is a reward that you benefit in giving. You will have peace internally, and your act of love will go a long way in saving the other person that did the receiver as a person. The receiver will be happy. It's just the golden rule. That's the way this world works. Because philanthropists give, churches give, civil societies give, Islam, even Muslims, they give. So it's a way of life. I will say that for now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Now that you mentioned the reward of giving. But finally, for you, Mr. Jeremiah, what do you have to say in terms of the reward of giving? You know, some people actually think that, okay, if I give, I want to see the reward. It should be obvious. And then when they don't see it, they feel like, oh, no, I'm not giving again. So what do you have to say to those kind of people who want to see the reward instantly or in a matter of time?
Depends on the reward you want to see. This is what I tell people. Sometimes I don't even wait to tell people this. It depends on the reward you want to see. For me, the reward I want to see is the smiles on the faces of these people who I'm giving to. You understand? It's that conversation that we are having while I'm with them. It is that warmth that I'm giving them. It is that encouragement that all of a sudden comes upon them while I'm there. It is that succor that my gift gives to them. It is that hope. I mean, these are intangible things. These are not physical things. That joy that comes upon them all of a sudden. That some of them, they will keep on calling you. We are grateful. You'll be like, it's okay, you know, and they are so just happy. For me, that is the gift. That's the reward. And trust me, it may not even come instantly. For some of them, they'll get it, and because of the trauma that they have passed through, they are still confused. Like, wait, is this gift for me? Some people, just 5,000 naira you give to them for Christmas, they won't spend that 5,000 naira till New Year. They will use one whole week to process it. Like, wait, is this for real? Like they are surprised, they are amazed, they are wild. So for me, sometimes it is that, you know, like my pastor will say, when you give to somebody and the person can't sleep, You know that kind of a thing. The person is so just happy. That's joy all around. It's not me. The happiness shouldn't be mine. That's not what I'm expecting. The happiness should be the receiver's own. So when I see that joy, that happiness, automatically it translates to my own happiness and satisfaction. And that's how it should be at the end of the day. Giving is paramount, just like Pastor John mentioned. And givers never lack. Never lack, no matter how you want to put it. A giver is not stranded, especially those who look for the real benefit of giving, which is the satisfaction and joy of the receivers.
Thank you so much, Jeremiah Oseni. He is a youth enthusiast, so you can see he's so enthusiastic about things that matter to the society and as it concerns you. Thank you for coming to Youth Assembly today and for giving us all of those insights. And to you, Pastor John David, an entrepreneur, thank you for your time. Though it was short, but you made impact.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, remember to share this video. It needs to go out there, and people need to hear what ways they can actually give back this season. It doesn't matter where you are financially or where you are in terms of services or your skills. You can give back wherever you are. My name is Sylvia Ishebe. This show was put together by Ihioma Ukeje. We'll be back tomorrow for another interesting edition of Youth Assembly. Remember to blow somebody's mind. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.